Frank Delaney never wanted to be famous. He swept the same high school hallways in Cincinnati for 41 years. Never late. Never sick. He was the kind of man who still tucked in his shirts, polished his shoes every Sunday, and believed that loyalty meant something. He wasn't rich, didn't want to be, but every month for over 4 decades he put a portion of his paycheck into the school district's pension plan. And when retirement finally came, he looked forward to a quiet life, reading old mystery novels, watching westerns on VHS, and tending to his wife's garden. But 3 months after his last day on the job, the checks stopped coming. No pension, no explanation, just silence. Frank called the bank that managed the school's retirement fund. Hours on hold, transferred between departments.
Ali.
A voice told him, there must be some sort of administrative error. We'll escalate the issue. Weeks passed. Nothing. He wrote letters, 5 in total, addressed to the fund manager, to the bank's regional office, to the HR department of the school district. All were ignored. That's when Frank pulled out his old Smith Corona typewriter. He didn't know how to use email, but he knew how to build a paper trail. Every day he typed 1 letter. Some were sent to news stations, others to state regulators. A few to random names he found in the phone book under lawyers. He mailed dozens. Still nothing. Then he did something strange. He took out his old VCR, hooked it up to a bulky camcorder his grandson had given him years ago, and he began recording. The first tape was simple. Frank sat at his kitchen table, holding a letter in one hand and a coffee mug in the other. He explained calmly how his pension had vanished, how he'd been ignored, how no one cared because he was just a janitor. He titled it, "They Stole My Pension." He recorded another and another. Every tape ended the same way. To whoever sees this, don't let them bury this. I have nothing left to lose. Frank mailed the tapes to every local news station, every watchdog group, even daytime talk shows. Nothing happened for months. Then, one rainy morning, Channel 9 aired a short segment. Retired janitor claims bank lost his pension. It should have been a dead story, but something caught fire. Viewers began calling in. Some were retirees who also noticed pension irregularities. One woman claimed her deceased husband's benefits had suddenly ended. A few teachers reported strange withdrawals in their statements. By the end of the week, a class action suit had been filed against the bank. Frank was named as the first plaintiff. When court discovery forced the bank to open its books, what they found was worse than anyone expected. Over $43 million had been quietly siphoned out of various small pension accounts. Nothing large enough to raise alarms individually, but together. It painted a damning picture. A rogue executive had been laundering retirement funds through shell firms for years. And the kicker. Frank's original letter, the one he mailed 5 months earlier, had landed on that very executive's desk and was deliberately shredded. The trial went national. Frank, the quiet janitor with the typewriter and the VCR, became an icon of working-class justice. The bank was fined. The executive got 7 years. All stolen pensions were repaid with interest. When reporters asked Frank what finally made people listen, he didn't hesitate. They ignored my words. But they couldn't ignore my face on tape. That's the power of showing up, even if it's just on a grainy old VHS. Frank still lives in the same modest house, still wears tucked-in shirts, still watches westerns, not now on his mantle. Beside a worn-out copy of Shane sits a gold plaque from the National Pension Rights Association. It reads, "For proving one voice and one camera can still change everything."